Welcome again to the Quantum. This is Manal Zainuddin, and I share here with you conscious learning and being, an aspect of my approach in education. I always share Plutarch's famous saying, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." Education is much more beyond schooling and schoolwork. Education is never separate from us, conscious beings. In the previous episode of the Quantum series, we talked about fluid waves that bundle into energy, not the concept of particles only, as we know from traditional physics. The electrons in our bodies are waves of the same field. They are fluid-like substances that are referred to as fields. Observing a totally empty space is never empty because it always has the fluid-like substances, the fields. They are the waves that never stop moving. There is no beginning, no end, no pattern, no rule. This is called the uncertainty principle, articulated by the German physicist Werner Heisenberg in 1927. According to this principle, and I quote, "The position and the velocity of an object cannot both be measured exactly at the same time, even in theory. The very concepts of exact position and exact velocity together, in fact, have no meaning in nature." End quote. That's nothingness. This is a core principle of quantum mechanics. One definition of quantum mechanics is that it is science dealing with the behavior of matter and light on the atomic and subatomic scale, the interactions of the particles with one another and with electromagnetic radiation, light, X-rays, and gamma rays, etc. Quantum mechanics is a branch of physics, and that the business of physics is to describe and account for the way the world, on both the large and the small scale, actually is, and not how one imagines it or would like it to be. This is all very interesting in many ways. Point number 1. That empty space experiment that we mentioned is not actually empty because, as explained, there was a fluid-like substance during that experiment and it was forever moving. The fields. In deeper connotation, it is like silence, an empty room, no motion, no activity. But even in that silence, there is motion. Behind that stillness, there is an action in a way or another. This reminds me of a book that I have read a few years ago by Eckhart Tolle, the renowned author, Stillness Speaks. When we silence our minds, we can connect to our inner nature, to our inner wisdom. This is the only true time in which we can learn how to create opportunities for better versions of ourselves. I personally do that almost daily, sitting still, feeling the self and the higher self, connecting to our Creator, connecting to our source. This can bring so much peace, especially during tough times like the ones we are experiencing now. Point number 2, the chaos is the source of order. This sounds contradictory, I know, but when we look around in nature, we do see so much chaos. With our naked eyes, we see uncountable species, difficult to control, law of the jungle, killing and being killed, natural disasters, especially reoccurring in some areas of the world more than others, more guilt. But beyond all that, there is always order. That is sometimes not comprehended by our limited perceptions, an order that can be explained by advanced science. Point number 3, the law of probability. All things are possible at any second in any place. This is the powerful truth. Although it's not easily believed, especially when we are going through challenging life situations, but it is worth reflecting. When we ask a question, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does work? What if it works but in another way? What if someone can help us make it work? What if it works in another form? What if it doesn't work now but works a bit later in time? And the list is endless. Point number 4. There is a non-stop life force. We are never dead. We are always alive. When our bodies die, there remains the soul that never dies. There's always the spirit of life itself. When we go into stagnation, which is helpful at certain times and even needed, we have to remind ourselves that something, will eventually shake off the dust. Something will occur to wake us up. Someone will shout out to us. Stagnation is only temporary because nothing can stifle life. We are here to think together, out loud, question ourselves, question others, and the world around us, but remain true to ourselves and our being on this beautiful planet Earth and this breathtaking cosmos. It's conscious learning and being, and that's what I always talk about. How can we tune in to the stillness and enjoy all the life force within? Please stay tuned for next time and share and like this content if it gives you value so that it reaches more educators, more parents, and like-minded people. And as always, knowledge is as vast as the world. Awareness is as vast as the cosmos. And this is what we deserve. We deserve no less because we are more.